Hi guys, my name is Agustinus Nelawan and I'm the GM of AI Data Platform and Data Science at Carsales and also an AWS Machine Learning Hero. And in this talk, I'm going to share with you how Carsales uses Amazon SageMaker Studio. I'm a tech lover. I love to build a tech gadget to entertain my family, such as an AI to help my wife to choose what to wear in the morning, and also a flying simulator and a robotic talking teddy bear to entertain my son. And at work, at Carsales, the company I work for, we actually own an automotive portal which facilitates car buying and selling for private seller and dealer. And we have also other verticals such as bikes, boats, trucks, and etc. And we also have presence in the United States, South Korea, and Latin America as well. We built all kinds of AI tech for years. A car recognition system which automatically identifies the make, model, body of the car all the way to the trim level from just a single photo or a video. And we also have a ratio blurring system called Mystic, which automatically blur ratio number of our seller to protect their privacy. Apart from computer vision, we also have an AI that automatically approve ads that actually submitted to our portal, and also a recommendation engine to improve our content discoverability. So by now, I hope you have some context of what type of AI tech that actually we built and productionized at Carsales. And in this talk, I'd like to focus on three areas. First, what is our machine learning development lifecycle? And second, what problem did we experience that we're trying to solve? And finally, how do we solve them using Amazon SageMaker Studio? Our machine learning development lifecycle starts with experimentation, where our data scientists perform exploratory data analysis, data preparation, model building, and hyperparameter tuning. And upon the completion of the experimentation, an ML engineer with the help of data scientists productionize the model by building a training pipeline and a model deployment. So previously, the tools that our data scientists use to perform experimentation is really not ideal at all, which causes a productivity issue. So what is the problem? Well, like many other data scientists, we also love to use Jupyter Notebook for our experimentation. Nothing wrong with it. It's an awesome tool. However, we are running the notebook in their laptop, in our laptop. And when they run a computationally expensive experiment, which is really very frequent, their laptop is burning. And often they have to scale down their experimentation so their laptop can keep up. And ironically, when you look at the breakdown of our notebook activity, only 20% of our time is spent in writing code, while the rest 75% is waiting for a specific part of the code to be completed, such as model training, hyperparameter tuning, which takes a while to execute. And while waiting, they cannot do anything else, as their laptop is extremely slow, not even able to check our email and replying to Slack messages. And the next problem is how we deal with the training sets. Very often, our training set come from a cloud storage like S3. And they can be quite large, especially when we're dealing with images. And downloading them over the internet can take a while. And it occupies a big chunk of our limited laptop storage, especially when we create multiple copies of data sets during data preparation. Collaboration is also one of the big problems that we face. We used to copy and send around notebook to each other's laptop, which easily can get lost and leads to a poor experiment reproducibility. So all of the above problem leads to a poor productivity. So we solve this problem by using Amazon SageMaker Studio. It's like a Jupyter Notebook on steroid. It is a cloud-based IDE for machine learning workflow, which promises to bring significant productivity improvement to your data science and ML engineering team. And I will share with you what that means. So, how does it really address our problem, one by one? So first, this is what really Amazon SageMaker Studio IDE looks like. A toolbar to switch between tools within the IDE. and a file explorer to let you browse and view files, and a notebook window for editing and running your notebook. And your notebook is running in the cloud. Hence, it frees up your laptop to perform other work. And there are numerous instance types to choose from T3 medium with a very small CPU and RAM, which costs very cheap, all the way to the powerful P3 GPUs. And a lot of these instances are much more powerful than the best laptop that you can ever buy. And you can even run multiple experimentation running each notebook on a separate instance. As you can see here, I have 3 tabs open, and each actually running a different notebook. So, as you can see, no doubt that Amazon SageMaker Studio Notebook is highly scalable. However, you need to know how to use them efficiently and to right-size the instance according to the task that you are performing, so you do not break your bank. As each instance is charged per hour as they are running, and the more powerful they are, of course, the more expensive the hourly rate is. Do not waste your money unnecessarily. Let's use a model building activity, which is one of the common cases as an example. We write and test our code using a small data sets. So we can just use a tiny instance to save costs, as this can take up to a few days, and we pay for every hour the instance is running. And once the code is tested, we are now ready to execute the code with a full data sets. Here we have 2 options that we can take. With option number 1, we switch to a large instance, large enough to perform a data preparation, model training, hyperparameter tuning, and model evaluation on a full data set. And with option number 2, we switch to a small instance, just enough to perform data preparation. And we launch SageMaker training job within the notebook to perform model training and hyperparameter tuning. And upon completion, we perform model validation using the same small instance. Option number 2 is our preferred workflow, as it provides us with the highest instance utilization, as we do not need to run a large enough instance throughout the data preparation validation step, which normally require much smaller instance than what's required for a model training and hyperparameter tuning. And when the training job takes a very long, like longer than a few hours, we even shut down the instance and resume when the job is completed for model validation for further savings. So how does SageMaker Studio help us to actually dealing with training sets? And as both notebook and our data set is within the same AWS network, downloading training sets to our notebook is very fast. A notebook can have up to 16 terabytes of storage, which provide more than enough storage capacity for most data science projects. And if this is still not enough, you can upload files to S3 to provide you with much more bigger storage capacity. However, our best practice is to upload training file to S3 bucket to archive our experiment to make sure model reproducibility. One of the Amazon SageMaker Studio feature that I like a lot is an ability to switch a Docker image anytime. And there are many selection of Docker images, from just base Python data science to TensorFlow version with CPU and GPUs. And each Docker image comes with all the popular frameworks and driver pre-installed. And this removes the very first tedious steps that we all have to endure at the start of data science project, which is installing the right Python interpreter and the right version, installing all the frameworks we need, and to make sure that no dependency conflicts. And if you need a GPU, spending potentially hours to install the right GPU drivers. And the last feature, which was recently released that I want to cover, is Space. It allows more than one data scientist to collaborate on a notebook in real time. They can view each other cursor, editing the code together a la pair programming, just like what you can see here on the screen. Rebecca is running her notebook, and he can see Gus and cursor. And we are currently trialing out these features, and I can see that it has a strong potential to boost productivity, especially when all of us at Carsales now are working remotely. This collaboration space can also be tagged, so you can attribute AWS costs for a different data science experimentation to a relevant stakeholder within your business. This is important if your organization structure have a centralized service ML team to work on various business stakeholder projects. So I have shown you how we use Amazon SageMaker Studio to help us experiment at scale using cloud computing, deal with data sets without worrying about storage capacity and internet speed, and help our experimentation, bootstrapping, and collaboration using Amazon SageMaker Studio, image, and space, and which result in significant increase of our productivity. And if you haven't tried this yet, please give it a go. And finally, I'd like to give credit to our ML platform and engineering data science team for always continuously keen to improve our tools and process discovering what can be used to enhance our productivity. And thanks for listening. You can reach out to me in LinkedIn, or if you are interested to know other AI and robotics projects I have built, you can go to my Medium or GitHub.